What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 52 and we're starting today's episode off on the back of a heartbreaking loss to Fiorentina that dumped us out of the Europa League in the quarter-final stages. Sickening late goal conceded there to the Italians. We exit the competition at the last day. But heading into today's episode, had to put that to the back of my mind because yet another massive game in a massive month of April. Chelsea in the Premier League, where right now is 7 games to go. We're 7 points off West Ham in 4th, but we've got 2 games in hand. Win them both, we cut it to 1, and we'll have a better goal difference record with 5 games remaining. Chelsea right now below us in the table, having a really tough season under Thomas Tuchel. They were knocked out of the FA Cup in the last 16, they were knocked out of the Champions League in the last 16, and they're below us in the table, 12 points off West Ham, and are in danger of missing out on European football altogether for next season. So this was a massive game for both teams. A draw doesn't either side a favour. Both teams needed to win, and the loser will be sitting there thinking Champions League is probably beyond us for next season. So yeah, massive game here. Had to pick myself up on the back of the sickening loss to Fiorentina. Started the game off quite cagey. Mendy made a great save and a header over the bar, kept it at 0-0. And then from the goal kick here, passing our way forward, 25 minutes in, Ritsu goes down the right hand side. Ball rolls round the right, rolls it across. Armstrong's shot deflected, but it drops back to Che, who offloads to the Ox. And I talk about this all the time, but if you're going to score your first goal for your new club, make it a memorable one. It's Oxlade-Chamberlain's second stint at Southampton after leaving all those years ago to the Gunners. And that's his first of the season. Signed him on a free transfer at the start of the season after Liverpool released him. He's had what you'd call mixed game time this year alongside Diao. You'll notice that JWP starts practically every game, but who plays alongside him is usually Diao, but I often play the Ox, particularly in some big games as well. He scores out open and his first of the season. What a time to get it as we take the lead over Chelsea and go a goal up. Right before the break, great save by Pickford, kept it at 1-0, and in 54 minutes in, great hustle by KWP, finds Ritsu, and again it's Mendy at the near post, making a smart save. He is just so good in this year's FIFA. He's a great goalkeeper anyway, of course, but even so, always have trouble scoring against Edouard Mendy. With 4 minutes on the clock, still leading by 1. Chelsea didn't cause me that many problems in the second half as we still led by a goal. Had a golden chance to rack the points out with 3 minutes to go, and oh my goodness, how do you mess up a 3-on-2 counter-attack like that? God knows how on earth I got that so poorly wrong there. Brennan Johnson's pass missed everyone in the middle, and eventually Chelsea were clear. In the end, it did not matter. We couldn't score the dagger. We hold on for the victory, and for the second time this season, we beat Chelsea and keep a clean sheet against them as well. It was a really cagey, nervy affair. I've got to be honest, I didn't play my best. Missed a couple of great chances, but in the end, the Ox's only goal of the game, his first of the season, gives us the 3 points, and that's the response we needed. Dumped out of the Europa League, a path to the Champions League is now gone, but a big win there, as I saw Pro got an injury, didn't notice it initially, so we'll be out of the West Brom game midweek here. A big win there now cuts the gap on the Irons to 4, and we still have that game in hand as well. Coming here, second of 3 games in today's episode, and a chance to cut the gap on West Ham to 1. We are not giving up on our dreams of playing in the Champions League. So following game, once again, another massive one for both teams. West Brom in the bottom 3 right now. Any chance of them surviving is looking increasingly unlikely as the games go by, because there's so many points adrift. But for us, this game coming midweek, sandwiched in between Chelsea and the FA Cup semi-final. Fatigue was going to be a problem, so I rested some players, but a few of my seniors started out there. A few of my best players of the season started out there, including Jordan Pickford, who 12 minutes in has just dropped an absolute clanger. Pickford going for the Golden Glove. Oh my goodness. Jordan. He's been sensational this year since coming in from the Toffees, but what is that? It's not a foul on the goalkeeper. It's just really unconvincing and weak goalkeeping from our number 1. Yup, one of those moments of FIFA where all you can do is sit there and laugh. But I didn't feel like laughing because this is a massive game. A chance to cut it to 1 and we're down at the Hawthorns courtesy of a goalkeeping error I could do nothing about. But I talk about it all the time. I'm glad goalkeeping mistakes are in this year's FIFA because they're a part of real life as well. But even so, 7 minutes to go before the break, still down by a goal. I felt we'd get back on level terms at some point, and we would. A Brecci Eze club record signing. Top scorer this year in our Europa League campaign. Goes down the left-hand side, steps inside with the spin, then the heel-to-heel flick, beats a couple of West Brom shirts, and the finish is absolutely glorious. Top bins, and it is 1-1 right before the break. So back on level terms. To be fair to West Brom though, obviously this is our lineup. We had a bit of a mixture of first team starters and bench players out there ahead of the FA Cup semi-final against Spurs. They really put me under pressure in the first half. Scored through that Pickford mistake and almost went 2-1 up right before the break. Still leading by 1. Daryl Dyke was causing me so many problems in this game, including scoring the first one. And then just past the hour mark here. Well, sometimes there are games of FIFA where when your luck is out, it is out. Morton bags the second for the Baggies. They got themselves in front, and probably deservedly so if I'm being honest here. But honestly, the first was a goalkeeper mistake, and then the second one, a rebound goal. Great save by Pickford initially, but there's only one Baggy right in the middle of where the congested group of players are. The rest are Southampton players, and somehow it drops right back to the one West Brom player in the middle. Morton heads in his own rebound. West Brom are in front again, and it's 2-1. It was such a frustrating close to the game as well, because I was getting chances to find a leveller. Great save there on Gareth Bale, kept it at 2-1. There were 50 minutes to go. Brennan Johnson steps inside and hits the woodwork. We're still down by a goal into the final 10 minutes. I was pushing, I was pressing, I was getting chance after chance. Bale finds Mino here. Another fine save by Griffiths, keeps it at 2-1, and I just couldn't find that goal to get back on level terms for the second time in the game. Chance after chance, but sometimes you come up against a goalkeeper who is literally just in spectacular form. We scored in the first half for Eze, but we put it in the only place he couldn't reach, right in the top corner. Every other attempt on his goal was getting saved. We had one late chance. See the stats in the top left. They're absolutely dominated in the closing stage, and our final chance falling here once again. Griffiths with the save. The frustration there for all to see. And the final score at the Hawthorns, West Brom 2, Southampton 1. And I was so frustrated coming the end of this game because it was one of those games of FIFA where you just sit there and think, what more could I have done? Higher XG, 13 shots in the game. And yeah, we only got the 1 goal and West Brom scored 2 really frustrating, unlucky goals. The first one, a goalkeeping error, which I could do literally nothing about. Just one of those moments there where you can't do anything. And then for the second goal, a rebound goal where there were 3 yellow shirts around the ball, yet it fell to the one West Brom player. Typical. Didn't play badly at all. Okay, I wasn't great, and West Brom, to their credit, had quite a few good chances, but really should have won that game. In the end, couldn't even get a point, and our game in hand spurned at the Hawthorns, and the gap remains at 4 with 5 games to go. 2 defeats in 3, not a great mini run of form, and now it's the FA Cup semi-final against Spurs. Heading to Wembley for this one against Conte's side. We lost to them so recently in the Premier League. I said when the tie was drawn, I put us as slight favourites, but after a disappointing mini patch, I was starting to feel the pressure. But 11 minutes in, oh, I have been so critical of this guy this season, and unjustifiably so. What a goal by Che Adams, opens the scoring, and we lead at Wembley, and after a great tackle by Dyer, we're through again, but this time Armstrong denied as we failed to double our lead. 20 minutes in, we'd started the game off like a house on fire, a couple of great chances, and could have been 2-0 up. As it stood, we still led by 1, Spurs looking for the equaliser, 8 minutes to go for the break. Harry Kane down the left-hand side, chips it to the edge, there's Ndombele, rolls it through to Hyung Min Son, and the South Korean drills it in to make it 1-1. This guy is like my arch nemesis on FIFA, and he has been consistently for years. Always scores against me. Spurs find their leveller with 8 minutes to go before the break. So back on level terms, it's 1-1. We were getting lots of chances in the first half, though. We've been the better team. Our 5 minutes to go before the break. Ritsu gets inside and scores as well. Oh my goodness, how did that go in? We talked about goalkeeper mistakes a moment ago there with Jordan Pickford. Well, this should never have found the back of the net. Oh, goodness. I mean, it's not quite Zach Steffen territory, but Unai Simon is going to want that one back. Stand up straight, mate, and it hits you on the arm. Instead, he dives the wrong way, and Ritsu gets us back in front. It's 2-1, and that Steffen howler on the weekend, man. It's not quite in the category of that glaring error, if you will, but he definitely should have saved it. And we lead once again at Wembley. And really, I should have been freed 4-1 up in this game. I had loads and loads of chances. Another great one there, Ritsu denied, as we still led by 1. And Spurs really didn't cause me any problems in the second half. I played some really good defence. I'd shut them down. They couldn't create any clear-cut chances. With a minute and a half of normal time to go. Goodness gracious me, I am sick of this guy. He is a fabulous player to watch in real life. I've always been a massive fan of the guy ever since he came in from Bayer Leverkusen. But in FIFA, I'm sick of him. No man more relieved than that guy inside the 90,000 at Wembley. Unai Simon's error. Well, blush is spared, I suppose is the best way of putting it, as Heung-min Son half volleys in the leveller with a minute and a half of normal time to go. In a game where I defended really well, to be fair. Spurs only really had the one clear-cut chance in the first half, which Son scored from. That one there was just a piece of brilliance and magical skill and technique from the South Korean to make it 2-2. We were heading into extra time at Wembley, courtesy of the former Bayer Leverkusen forward, in a game where, once again, just like against West Brom, I played well, I felt I deserved to win it, but I just couldn't find that goal to give us the victory. Stoppage time, still tied at 2-2, one final chance. Ritsu finds JWP, rolls it back to the edge. Diao offloads to Lookman, who takes aim, shot deflects, comes back to him, and Lookman, with the final kick of the game, wins it, and Southampton at the death are heading to the FA Cup final. Oh my goodness. And you know what's funny? Like, I was being really calm doing the audio there, but during that moment when Diao offloaded to Lookman, I don't think I've shook the controller harder in FIFA 22. I was so nervous with the adrenaline, with the final kick of the game, the first shot blocked, back to him, and I've talked about him this season as being one of our players of the year. Adamola, clutch Lookman with the final kick of the game, wins it. And when we talk about late goals in FIFA and how common they are, that is proof right there. You don't stop going until the final whistle. Heung-min Son fought it forced extra time, but we still had time in stoppage time to win it, and we would. Lookman's goal puts us into the FA Cup final, and there it is. We'll be taking on Liverpool in the FA Cup final. They beat the Baggies by 2-1, and we'll face them towards the end of the season. As we know nowadays, the FA Cup final coming before the final Premier League games of the campaign. You know my feelings on that, but even so, we'll have them. Liverpool FA Cup final in a dramatic semi where Lookman wins it at the death. We're now 7 points off West Ham, but we still have the game in hand with 5 games to go. We can cut it back to 4 once again. We're not giving up on the top 4. We've got an FA Cup final to look forward to as well. But I tell you what, as we close out this season, it's getting really tense now. I'm really struggling, but we still have dreams of silverware and a top 4 finish. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Career, guys. Big fan you've watched, hope you enjoyed it. If you hadn't, please drop a like. Most of you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon, featuring 3 of the final 5 Premier League games as we try and get ourselves back in the top 4 very soon.